guys.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast. We're in season 5. It was episode 8. We still don't have the fight. We got the beginning of the fight. We're still waiting for the fight. We got a fight, but not the fight. It's a mess. Whatever.
I'm so disappointed.
Fights in COVID. Okay. Woo! We're gonna talk about it. First things first. I don't know. First things first, we're not mixing it up because it's a Sunday morning. We're both hungover, so deal with that. Second, follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. I got Lindsay Hubbard to like another one of my photos that I posted. So here's the thing. She may not be my favorite on the show, but she's now my favorite in real life.
She's giving you the love.
I have tagged everyone, and Lindsay has like 2 photos. So everyone else, step up your effing game. Lindsay cares. Hashtag Lindsay cares.
Alicia's activated her.
Activate the niceness. Third thing
PSA campaign.
I love her. Third, join our Patreon. Patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For only $1, you will get access to our pre-show, which is where Meredith and I talk about everything and laugh hysterically because we're the funniest people in the world. And if you don't think that, you're obviously not listening to the pre-show. You'll also get any episodes that we record early. So it's not necessarily for summer show, but we also have like our other podcast called It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast, which we're now in season 3, almost season 4. But we've recorded it all on Patreon, but all that's released is like 3 episodes of season 3. So we'll eventually do that for Summer House. So get on it. $12 a month.
Don't miss out.
Super good deal. Now, if
$12 a year. $12 a year.
Oh my gosh, you guys. It was $1 a month, $12 a year. I can't do math. The alcohol fried my brain and now I'm broken. So if you have a little extra money and want to do $2 a month or $24 a year, let me tell you what you can get. You'll get access to everything I just mentioned because of course, and then you get access to our after show, which we don't do for Summer House, but we do for like Vanderpump Rules because that's where we get out all of our spoilers. So eventually we will do it for Summer House. But we like to do things spoiler free if we're going back, just for those who maybe are on the journey with us. So yeah, you'll get access to that. Plus, we will say your name on the podcast. So we have 4 patrons, and here they are. Mariah, Tracy, Dustin, Jackie, woohoo, our favorites. They're up here. You're down there. Sorry, not sorry.
So join us up here.
See, it's like Meredith and I, and then our patrons, and then everyone else. Okay, so then for $5 a month, which would be $60 a year.
Yes.
Wow, look at me.
Nice.
Which we know is a lot, but we appreciate everything you're willing to donate so then we can keep doing this super fun and flashy and great. You will get access to everything I just mentioned, plus you get to give us your thoughts. So every week, this week it was a little late, sorry Dustin and Jackie, I put out a post where I'm like, hey, give us your thoughts on the episode that we just saw, like in live shows.
Tell us what you think.
Dustin and Jackie do it every week, and they give us all their thoughts, and I'm obsessed with all of their thoughts because they agree with ours. But if you have different thoughts, you should donate $5 a month so that we could hear that and debate it with you. Or maybe you're right, and Meredith and I just missed something, and we're wrong. So let us know. Also, we like to pick a patron of the episode, but we only have $2 a month patrons, which are Jackie and Dustin.
2 $5 a month, but yes.
What did I say? I'm a mess.
$2 a month.
Next time Meredith's gonna do this because I'm fried. But yes, 2 $5 a month patrons, which are Jackie and Dustin. So they are our podcast parents, and they are our couple of the episode because they're married.
Woo!
Still, and if they'll always be married to me. I don't know. It's happening forever and always. Now, there's an episode that we must talk about.
There
is. Okay.
Don't worry, it's just as a mess as you are right now.
Oh man, how are they never hungover enough? Like
they don't show their hangovers, and how do they always go for runs after they drink so much? How
does Kyle wake up and go for a run is beyond me. I mean,
when he doesn't remember the night before.
Yeah, I mean, I went for a walk, but I wasn't that hungover, and I'm not too hungover, but I'm fried. Like my brain just doesn't work. But I'm not gonna go on a fucking run, please. So, previously on Summer House, Des and Hannah had FaceTime sex, which was fun for everyone to watch. Carl is back, but he's struggling with his brother's death. Sierra friend-zoned Luke, and Luke is annoyed that Sierra is giving him some attitude. Steven left the house, and Lindsay broke up with him, and she's fine. But Luke is always there for Lindsay if she needs anything. And then a psychic messaged Hannah and told her that Luke and Lindsay hooked up. Now, Meredith, I need to ask now with this episode, do you think Luke and Lindsay hooked up?
After this episode, I think they did.
You do?
Yeah. I'm like a 70-30, but like 70% of me believes they did.
I'm still like 55-45. 55
like 55 they did?
Yeah, but okay. Like I'm so unsure still.
Did it go up a little bit after this episode?
No, honestly, it went down a little.
Oh, see, I think know. Do you agree that their behavior looks suspicious though?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's okay. Do I think they want to hook up? 100%. Yeah, no doubt in my mind. Do I think that they flirted with that line? 1,000%. Do I think they did it? I don't know.
Do you think they've done anything?
Like a finger bang?
Like a finger bang. Like a Carl finger bang.
I don't know. I don't.
See, I could totally, like 80% of me believes something has happened, even if it's just a drunken makeout in a place.
I think they're just flirting with that line really well. I don't know. I'm excited to find out. I don't know if we ever will. I hope so. It doesn't matter either way, I guess, but fuck it. Let's talk about this episode. So it's Friday night. Amanda, Paige, and Hannah are talking about the Lindsay Luke thing. Paige is mostly annoyed because Luke would have sex with Lindsay, but not with Hannah. That's where I think the feelings came in. Like when you have feelings for someone, you like want to take it a little slower, but like,
yeah, that's true. But if it's just like a friends with benefits, you're like, let's bang.
Yeah. Who gives a fuck? Amanda says they're not gonna admit it, which is true, but Paige believes it. Paige is more convinced than you are.
I know.
But Hannah's like me, like she's a little unsure, but we need to know. So thank God we're doing girls' night tonight because we'll find out.
But she also says like she wouldn't put it past them. I believe it's both. Yeah. Like their character and like who they are. It wouldn't shock me if they did do this.
It wouldn't shock me. I just, you know me. I always like
There's
a definite answer. Yet. I need a definite answer. So it's boys and girls night. So boys night starts out with chugging Guinness in 3 seconds.
Carl's even doing it.
I know. It didn't hit me that Carl was drinking until later when someone was like, how are you feeling? He's like, I'm a little buzzed. And I was like, oh, wait.
Yeah, no, when they were chugging beers, I said, Carl's drinking tonight.
What do we think? I'm excited for Carl to drink. I think he's a little sad still, but I think he can handle it. I think he's more aware and can handle his thing.
I agree.
Plus, we're not going anywhere. It's not like
I'm talking to Danielle
trouble.
Later, and just to jump ahead, he says he like still has like systems in place. So every time he has one drink, he has a water, which I think, and he talks about just the goal is having a healthy relationship with alcohol, which like I really love this. But it's nice that he like, I think he's because included. It's like a guy's night, and he like that's kind of like what the premise is. It's not like he's drinking to forget about work or he's pissed off or he's upset about his brother. He's like doing a guy's night. Yeah, it's a positive like experience.
So the worst chugger's Luke. I don't know who won, but Luke spilled all of it. So then we go to girls' night. We're doing a spa to release all of our stress, which Hannah shows in burps. We're not going to have any boners or toxic masculinity, but we can hear the men, which is a problem because Kyle's going pee outside screaming. He pees forever. It never stops.
I mean, he does this once a summer, though. He always pees on that front porch.
He screams the whole time. And I was like, this dude.
He's already shit-faced.
This is my favorite kind of Kyle. This is it. This is the Kyle I love and adore.
That's true. I don't like when he's in the middle of like drama.
No.
With someone.
I want drunk Kyle that has zero clue what's happening. He's just going to pee
he's
where
just
he
happy.
Wants. Yeah. The boys
are in the wind.
And the boys are going shirts off. Just showing it a little bit. The girls are picking animal face masks to mask their spirit animal. So a few. Hannah's an otter. Paige is a mermaid. Sierra's a cheetah. Amanda's a unicorn. So I didn't know a mermaid and a unicorn. Well, a unicorn's more of an animal, but spirit. And now we're doing nails. Hannah's Nana said that you should only do shades of red because she's a little sex kitten. And Hannah tells everyone about Des and how they love having phone sex, which is great. 10 out of 10.
I like that we're getting that it's more normal because we haven't really heard that much about Des. I mean, you went into it after listening to that podcast a few episodes ago, but I feel like Des just showed up out of nowhere, and then now it's just like, oh yeah, oh, you're FaceTiming Des? Like, oh, hey, Des.
Yeah,
like,
and we were all expected to like take him as Hannah's now boyfriend, but I was confused. But the podcast made it more simple. It made it simpler, a lot more. But if I hadn't listened to that, we would be so confused. We're like, where'd this dude come from?
Yeah.
Summer House really cut it super fucking weird.
I think that because to get the Kyle drama, they had to, or the Luke drama, they had to.
So the Bears are playing, or the boys, whatever. The boys are playing beer pong. The loser has to do a naked push-up. LOL, just kidding. A slap shot to the chest. I'd rather
do the naked push-up.
Oh my God. Yeah. And Kyle says that he's dumber than, he says that a slap shot to the chest is dumber than when his grandma put Molly in the gravy. And I was like, who's Kyle's grandma?
He was like, he was like, she's from Vermont. You know, they do weird things.
Crazy up there. If you're from Vermont, please tell us about this Molly gravy.
Yeah, like I'll come to your Thanksgiving.
I want to know. I just would like to say boys' night seems more fun than girls' night. And I'm a girl's girl, but man, I do not want to be at girls' night right now. Boys' night is lit.
Yes, but I think I would want to be at girls' night because of the Luke, Lindsay drama. I would want to be sitting in on it, waiting for somebody to try and trip like Lindsay up.
Yes. I just want to party with the boys.
The excitement behind the scenes is way more fun at girls' night.
So we're playing a game. Let's say at the girls' night, you were the last person on the planet, or we were the last people on the planet, and you have to keep the world going by recreating with each other. Who in the house are you having a baby with? Meredith, you first. Out of the three boys, who in the house are you having a baby with?
Carl.
I would have it with Carl too, but Kyle's my second. Kyle's like a close second.
And I agree. And then if there were boys from the past, who would you do?
Ooh,
included. Do you remember that guy? Armand. Was that his name?
Yes.
Really liked Armand. Is that his name?
Was great. I think so. He was only there for like a season. He was super low key.
He was there.
Lindsay was like trying to hook up with him or something.
Maybe.
Because, we'd have the three boys we have now, plus we'd have Steven. He's gay, but for the sake of this, he has a penis.
I could do a great co-parenting situation with him.
We can still procreate with a penis. We have Armand, and we have, who is Jordan?
Oh, God, Jordan.
I think those were the only boys, right? Is Carl still the one we're going with?
I would always go with Carl first.
I would make pretty babies, though, with Armand.
He would be my second before Kyle.
Oh, I still think Kyle. No, Kyle would be like the
Kyle's
most
just
annoying.
like fucking annoying to do.
I kind of want to have a baby with Steven. If it's not Carl, I think for me it might be Steven or Everett. Everett was there.
Oh yeah, too. I forgot about Everett.
I don't want Everett either. Fuck it. Okay, but most girls agree with us. Paige would pick Carl. They would have hairy babies. Sierra would pick Carl because that's Sierra's type, and he's good at fingering.
Well, Lindsay, Lindsay's like, oh, I mean, he's good at fingering. And
then I'm like, yeah, his fingers are long.
Lindsay just brings up the weirdest fucking shit. I feel like if I hooked up with my friend like that, and last summer, I would want to forget it at this point.
Same. I'd be like, we're done. But
even if I'd want to pick Carl, I would not pick Carl because I wouldn't want to draw attention to that.
Danielle says either Kyle or Carl. She's like, either one, to which Amanda was like, what the fuck? And I was like, we have to recreate or procreate, like,
Amanda, you can't take this personally. Nobody wants to like date Carl.
No one actually wants to date Kyle.
It's not like people are like, who would you want to have sex with? It's like, who would you create a child with is the question.
Danielle has already hooked up with Carl, so I'm sure she's like, do I want to try something different? Do I want to have a baby with Carl? Like, Danielle knows Carl.
It's a little too close to home.
Yes. Hannah would have hate sex with Kyle.
Which like
not happy about it.
I get that one. I get being like, seriously?
That was funny. But who she has, Luke or Carl? I think Hannah's best choice.
I think Kyle's the best choice for her. I agree.
And then they're like, what is sex with Kyle like? And Amanda says they are simultaneous almost every time. They're minute men and women. no. That cracks me up. Honestly, I think Kyle would know what he's doing, but I think it'd be hotter with Carl. Like, I think Carl is just he's got going.
Yes, I think Kyle has like such an ego. He would make sure he makes sure like Amanda gets off, I feel like.
Oh yeah, 100%. Luke, you would just never get to the sex because he's just going to eat you out for an hour and a half.
No, I'm like, ugh, nobody's going to have sex with Luke.
No one's good. Oh, just kidding. She picks Luke because he's handy and he has a lot of attributes that have been overlooked by this group. To which everyone's like, the fuck are you talking about?
I like, without Lindsay even knowing what's going on, I'm like, you just always know how to like get under people's skin. Like
it's literally like they opened the flaming gates of hell and she just walked right in. She's like, didn't even know.
There's a breeze in here.
She didn't even know what was happening. She's like, I'm a little chilly. I'm gonna go straight. No.
That's such a dig at Sierra and Hannah. Like, there's a lot of attributes that are being overlooked about him, and they're like, F you, like he's pushed us away. He's done all this shit to us.
Sierra's great. She's basically like, you can appreciate Luke or whatever. I'm setting up my boundaries. Hannah doesn't have to like them. We're going to do our own thing.
Yeah.
And Lindsay gets all fucking defensive because there should be less shit talking about Luke. And then Danielle slightly is like, hey, Lindsay, you don't have to like get involved. To which then Lindsay gets mad at Danielle, and I'm like, you're one friend.
I think whenever people like then air their grievances about Luke, because Lindsay stands up for him, she takes it as a personal attack against her.
Yeah.
When it's not even a personal attack against Luke, it's like, listen, things are just weird between us right now. Like, we are having a really tough time in our relationship. We have to figure it out. You don't need to get involved.
Yeah, like if you want to hang out with Luke and like be there for him emotionally and mentally, like. And maybe physically, fucking fine, do your thing. But like, don't make us be okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not your job.
Yes.
And if Luke's upset, he can have the conversation and understand where we're coming from. And if it still doesn't work out, it still doesn't work out.
Like, yeah, like we're not attacking you for hanging out with him. So don't attack us for choosing to take some space.
So then the boys outside have real talk. And Kyle wants to know about laying the pipe. Which
I hate that term.
Oh goodness. Luke basically doesn't want to share anything. And we learned this from last summer. He is a very private person. And that sucks when you're on reality TV because you kind of have to air out all your shit.
But I would appreciate that being Sierra.
Oh,
he's not going into like intimate details. Because I like to keep that stuff private.
I get it. I think in Kyle's head, because he's been doing this for so long, and Carl too, they're like, we're going to ask about it because this is our job and this is reality TV. And Luke, I would be Luke. I'd be like, no, I don't want to share my personal shit. Like, it's not my business almost.
Yeah.
But whatever. Luke's chill. Him and Sierra. Here's the weird part, right? Him and Sierra came in together as friends, potentially more. And now they don't even have a friendship. Like, they don't even know each other.
That is weird.
The guys think it's weird. Luke's obviously bothered by it. And he blames Hannah for ruining that relationship, which I think is unfair, though I do think she overshot that relationship by a lot. Luke just didn't also handle it well. Look, everyone's wrong, except Sierra.
I think Hannah has a piece to play, but I think Luke is putting all the blame on her.
Yes.
Because I don't think Luke sees that Sierra doesn't like the way he spoke to Hannah. It's not about the problems that they actually had in his actions. No. It's about the way he spoke to her. It's how he handled it.
Mm-hmm. Do I think that Hannah was more wrong than Luke in their relationship? Yeah, 1,000%. Do I think Luke didn't handle it correctly? Yes. And I think that's just the big old issue.
Yeah.
But whatever. So Carl's really trying to give Luke some advice because he's been there. Never forget the twins. And Lindsay. And Lindsay. He's had to navigate this summer house.
And Paige.
But Paige didn't care. She moved on pretty fast. Lindsay was nuts.
Well, I mean, in the summer, there was a lot of back and forth between Paige and Carl. A lot of
weirdness. So Carl says when you wrong women, you have to be accountable.
Yeah.
Which, straight up. So now the girls decide to crash boys' night, but jokes on them because the boys just go upstairs. They're like, we're switching, and the girls are like, wait, okay. It's like they don't want to hang out with you. They're having
I think honestly the girls wanted to see how Luke and Lindsay like interacted more.
Oh, I thought they were just bored because I was bored. I would have been like, let's put
That's true. Just sitting in a bathroom.
Oh, I was bored. But Luke and Lindsay go and talk in the kitchen. So Lindsay tells Luke that she got shit on when she tried to stand up for Luke, and then Paige and Amanda walk in. She didn't. And then Paige and Amanda walk in. They're like, "Hey, what's up?" And Lindsay walks away. She like doesn't want to deal with it. So Amanda and Paige go up to Luke, and they're like, "What's up?" And he doesn't want to talk about his feelings, but Amanda's like, "Luke, feelings are important. Please share with us your feelings." And Luke said he'd rather not when he's been drinking, which I get to an extent. Like, you don't want to get in your feels when you're drinking. But Paige and Amanda are just trying to get to the bottom of this.
They're like, no. This is the time when you got to open up.
So they're like, what were you and Lindsay talking about? Are you guys talking about your vibe? Like, because you guys are vibing? Is there sexual tension? And Luke is like, no.
What? He's like confused here. He's like, what?
So confused. And then Paige straight up asks.
She like whispers it. She's like, I mean, like, have you guys had sex?
And he's like, what? And she's like, did you guys just like, no, just like, let me know. Did you? And he's like, no, but he doesn't say no. He's like, no. What? And he starts laughing and he's like, that's crazy. Steven's my friend.
Yeah.
Just say no.
He like won't answer.
Nope.
But like Amanda later says, like, if it didn't happen, like you would just deny it. You'd be like, no. Like, what?
Ew. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he does say, like, after laughing and like kind of playing around, he goes, it's not true. And then Paige is like, too late, and she like runs and sprints away, and Amanda like skips after her. They
both agree that they think that Lindsay and Luke slept together.
Yeah,
this is confirmation to them, which it's not confirmation to me, but it's casting a wider shadow.
Do I think it would have gone better if he was sober? Yeah, but you want to figure it out when you're drunk. But
I don't think so, because I like think about the way I would react, and like if my friends asked me if I slept with one of my guy friends that I didn't, I'd be like, are you kidding me? No.
My initial reaction, like right now, if you're like, Alicia, did you hook up with this person, like a guy friend? I'd be like, what? Like my initial reaction would be not even to say no. It'd be like, what? Who? What the fuck? And then they'd be like, did you hook up with him? And that's when I'd be like, no. Like you would probably have to ask me twice to get the response. Because initially I'd be can you imagine I'm just in the kitchen and you're like, hey, Alicia, you hook up with, I don't know, John? I'd be like, what? What are you talking about?
Yes. I think most of my guy friends, I would say no, because it would never be a possibility. So I think I would immediately, but I think there is a possibility that like, there's an open window that this could potentially, if it hasn't happened, could happen in the future. Like, it's not like they don't like each other in that way. They just have never acted on it.
I was straight up thinking about this. If it's like, who's hooked up with John? Oh my gosh, Meredith, have you? Then you'd be like, no, because it's the topic. But if you come out of left field and you're like, hey, Alicia, you hook up with John, I'm going to go, what? Like
but they came in with like, oh, that's sexual tension.
Tension? No. Have you hooked up? No. I guess you're right. Yeah, I'd be like, no.
They were on that topic a little bit.
You're right. I'm playing this wrong.
So I wonder if he was a little flustered already, because if it is true and somebody starts asking you subtle questions, it's like, oh no.
Meanwhile, Danielle's just going to call her hot chef Robert. So cute. Okay, back to the whatever. Kyle's licking Loverboy off the ground.
Oh my god. He like spills the drink and like
It was Sierra's. And she's like, stop, this is mine. And he's like, no waste. No Loverboy waste. So
oh my god.
Sierra, Lindsay, and Hannah discuss the Luke thing. And it's like the defending Luke, the attributes he has. And Lindsay just gets Luke's position. And Hannah's like, there's just a lot of anger. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then this is where Carl opens up to Danielle about drinking, but then having a water. It's so cute. He has his shit together. I love Carl. Next.
Danielle says for the first time she isn't worried about Carl and his drinking.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Luke and the girls. Paige and Amanda now go down to the pool. And Paige tells Lindsay about the DM that Hannah got from the psychic.
Paige is shit-faced. You can just tell. I didn't think she was that drunk when she whispered to Luke, did you and Lindsay have sex? But this is the moment where I was like, oh, she's gone, because she goes, Hannah got a DM that you fucked Luke. like just wide out in the open.
And you saw Hannah's face was just like, okay, I guess we're doing this. To which also Sierra was like those two were probably not drunk enough where they were like, oh, this is happening. But
yeah, like
Amanda was so on board. Amanda,
like I didn't think we were just gonna throw it out there like that.
Amanda and Paige are on that level where they're like, we're gonna find out. It's bad. Lindsay's jaw drops. She's like, what in the world? And this is how I react. Like, I'd be like, what? Initially. I wouldn't get activated, but initially I'd be like, what? And then now Lindsay becomes defensive, which is wrong. This is where I'm like,
Well, she tells him she doesn't look at him that way, which I'm not like Luke's personality and like who he is annoys me.
But if you look at him,
he looked cuter last summer though. Like if I was drunk, I could still see something happening.
What does Lindsay say later? She undresses Luke with her eyes. Oh yeah, I undress Luke with my eyes too. I get it. But she is on the defense because the girls are coming at her. She's activated because the girls are saying it's a DM, but Lindsay's pissed. Like, Lindsay's like, how dare you say this about me? And they're like, it was a direct message. And she's like, you're spreading rumors.
You can tell Lindsay goes like balloons up and is like, you're shit talking me. And Paige is like, no, we're not. All we've said is like, this is a DM we've received.
Okay.
We're telling you about it.
My number one hated thing for anyone to ever do is, do you honestly know who the fuck I am? And I was like, Jesus Christ, Lindsay, sit down. Which is what Amanda does. She goes, yes, we do. You're Lindsay Hubbard. Now sit down. And I was like,
I love that.
Oh my God, Amanda's gonna get her ass beat. That's all I thought. I was like, Amanda, cover your face.
But that's how you have to come at someone like that. Cause it's like, you're not that important. Sit the fuck down.
It was so bad, but so funny. And Lindsay's yelling at Amanda now. And Lindsay says she fucked Luke like Hannah fucked Luke, which is not
funny. That was pretty funny.
And she's not a cheater. Maybe Hannah's just mad she didn't get invited to that New Year's party or whatever party that was. But Lindsay was trying to get Luke to hook up with Danielle that night, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But I wonder if it's because Steven was there.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. But Lindsay storms upstairs and is like yelling at Kyle and Luke.
And my God. Oh my God.
Screaming about like what's going on. And Amanda
this is where I laughed. She like, wait. This is where I could not stop laughing when she's yelling. And Kyle goes, okay, relax. And Lindsay looks at him for a second and goes, no, you relax. I was like, and then Amanda's there and she's like, oh yeah, I guess Amanda was there, but it was the funniest.
Amanda walks up because Lindsay's like saying all like basically twisting what actually happened downstairs. So she's like, they're shit talking me, like doing that whole thing again. And Amanda walks upstairs and is like,
she tries to talk.
She's like, that's not what happened. Like Lindsay just listen to me. And Lindsay, of course, is set off even more. She's like, listen to you. Are you kidding me?
A few highlights when Lindsay first tells Kyle he is gobsmacked. Like, I do not know how else to describe him.
Kyle's face this whole episode is just catching flies, like mouth open, like what is happening?
Lindsay's on her rant. Luke leaves. He just says like, we never had sex. And then no one calms down. So then he walks over and he just goes, I need a beer. Like, I feel it. Luke's a mood, okay? As much as we don't like him, he can be a mood sometimes, which is that I need a beer. Yeah. And then but Kyle's just like, relax. No, you relax. Oh. And then Amanda gets pissed because she's like, don't come for my guy.
Yeah. Okay. That was, I hate whenever Amanda takes an attack against Kyle as an attack against her.
Also, just because Lindsay's activated doesn't mean she's coming at Kyle. He just told her to relax.
She's
not about to relax.
Yeah, she's just being Lindsay. Like, and that's no need to step in between them and be like, don't come after my guy.
Also, Kyle and Lindsay were friends first. Like, they're fine. He doesn't need you to defend him against. And this is what Amanda...
when people do attack your relationship or like him in related to you, of course that's when you can step in. But like, she's just screaming at him. She shouldn't, but like still, like, don't get involved.
Kyle. And then Amanda's like, goodbye, Lindsay. Fuck you. And I was like,
she like storms to her room.
And then Luke is still standing there with his beard. He's like, so does everyone believe we have I missed half the... This was my favorite part.
Luke
is when I texted
hates
you.
Drama. No, I do enjoy that he hates it because it adds a different element. Because like in this moment, even if it is or isn't like true. He's like, what the fuck is going on? Why are we screaming?
Does anyone have some vodka? I need something stronger. Like, no.
When did this happen? How did this start? Can we just stop
pizza
yelling?
Outside yet? I don't understand.
Just gonna go to bed.
This was my favorite part of the fight, though. Like, I could not stop laughing at Kyle's face. I could not stop laughing at Luke. I could not stop laughing at Lindsay trying to communicate. It was so funny.
Amanda is like sticking up for herself too this season. Like, she's in fights. Yeah.
I can't wait till we go back to season 1 when Amanda would just get walked over by everyone. And I'd be like, this bitch needs to grow a pair because she grew up and now she's just in it.
I love it. I do love it.
So finally we all go to bed. Luke gets some pizza. Kyle falls and hurts himself. And now
Lindsay's talking to herself in the bathroom.
Oh my God. This is when Kyle's in the kitchen by himself and he's like climbing on the things of leather or the boxes, and he's like in the kitchen, like, oh my God, I love this Kyle. I love this Kyle.
He's like thinks there's stairs.
I wish there was a pantry that he could fall asleep in because that is still my favorite Kyle moment of all time. When Amanda comes down and she's like, "What?"
We get him passed out on the couch, and so Amanda, Paige, Hannah, and Sierra walk up. They like are talking about Luke, and then they walk upstairs and find Kyle passed up. And I love that they just like open his eye.
Kyle, you alive?
Kyle,
and then he like wakes up and he just spews nonsense. And Amanda's like, "Come on." Usually Amanda would get really mad if Kyle was that drunk, but I appreciate her finally being like, "It's funny."
Well, I think because like he's home, so it's not like he's out till 3 a.m. and she's like worried and has no clue where he is.
He's in the pantry, girl. He's fine.
This is the best season for their relationship because, like, she doesn't have to worry if he's going to cheat on her. Yeah, because,
Oh, so funny. So then Luke texts Sierra that the rumors aren't true, and she's annoyed that he's texting her past 10 p.m.
Especially, like, about this. Like, this. If you want to say the rumors aren't true to everyone, then group text everyone. But he's only texting Sierra.
Yeah. Okay, listen. This 10 p.m., I'm going to say, listen, there are multiple layers, but this 10 p.m. bullshit, I don't think 10 p.m.'s the time. I think it's like 2 a.m. Don't text me at 2 a.m. Because a lot of my guy friends text me past 10 p.m. Now, Luke and Sierra are clearly not friends.
They don't start texting you at 10 p.m. though.
Yeah, no.
In the context is probably so different.
My friends would. But Luke and Sierra are not friends. I think that's where Luke's going wrong. I understand Luke being like, I text my friends past 10 p.m., but he needs to understand him and Sierra are not friends. So
I don't think he understands the context of things he's doing.
Friends.
Like that action, if you take it out of the situation you're in, is normal, definitely. And I think this was the same problem with Hannah. Like the actions he's doing, if you take them out of like all the context, they're not that weird. But when you put it into the like relationship you have with these people, this isn't normal. Like if a guy you had hooked up with texted you at 10 p.m.
Yeah, I probably would assume.
You're not just friends.
That's the thing. I'm not just friends with him. And I think Luke thinks that they're friends, which is why he doesn't think it's weird. But Sierra knows they're not friends.
Yeah.
If he had texted Danielle would have been like, cool, man, because they're friends.
Yes, like they've never crossed that boundary. Yes. But Sierra is trying hard to put boundaries in place to make sure that there's no confusion and he doesn't understand boundaries. Yeah.
No. Okay, it is Saturday morning. We are rolling out of bed. Kyle doesn't remember anything, but he's going to go on a run.
Yeah, Paige is too drunk to remember majority of the night. And I love how when Hannah goes, at what point did you stop remembering? Like, let me just fill you in from there. Like, how far back do we need to go?
The whole night. And I was like, oh no. Amanda's going to wash the sheets. Probably best with Kyle around. Everyone is struggle bussing, but the party supplies are here because we're doing a pub crawl.
They have 87,000 packages from Amazon.
Oh my God. They all ordered this like last
The whole front porch is Amazon packages. Listen,
I do this every episode. I forget that this is not like real world where they actually have phones and computers and shit. Because I'm like, they must have, like, my initial thought was, wow, they ordered this really in advance and Bravo must have shipped it to them when it was time because.
Or like a producer had to order it all.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh my God, they have computers. They have Amazon Prime. I'm nuts. It's me. Okay. But it's Saturday afternoon. Luke is splitting wood for why? I don't know, but he's struggling forever. He cannot get this wood to split. But last night was fun, but Luke thinks Hannah created this whole negative atmosphere. And he didn't think the summer was going to be like this. He can handle bullshit, but to what extent?
I think this is ridiculous. I don't like he puts all the blame in her.
On Hannah, yeah.
That I don't like that he's not taking any of this. Earlier he said that Hannah was doing a gaslighting campaign, which I don't think is true. I think she's doing like a smear campaign, but not a gaslighting campaign.
I straight up think Hannah's crazy, but I straight up think Luke sucks. So
I think gaslighting is just a buzzword for him that he wants to use in this moment.
100%. Okay. And then Lindsay and Danielle are drinking. Lindsay's exhausted. Danielle had no idea about this rumor. She was busy on the phone with her hot chef.
I love it. She did not hear about the DM. She's like, wait, what?
She cannot believe it. She is shook to her core. Carl
calls his mom, which is so
God. Cute. His mom's just mumbling along.
I know. She's like, I'm just so pissed at life. They talk about Carl not really drinking too much, even though he wants to just say fuck it because he's just so pissed at everything too. Mm-hmm. But he understands that he's on his own journey. He really wants to be present in his life, and he has drank, but it's not gonna be like he used to be.
No, but I love him and his mom. They're just so cute.
Oh, this just breaks my heart hearing her, like how like sad and like upset and mad and all the emotions. Like you can just kind of like feel it in their conversation.
Yeah. And then Hannah FaceTimes Des. So Paige is sleeping right next to them.
I wanted to talk about this.
And Hannah FaceTimes Des. And at first she literally says like Paige is napping, so I have to be quiet. And then she's like, hey Des, show me your apartment. And he's like, okay. And I was like, no, Paige is right there.
I would be pissed if I was Paige.
I'd be pissed.
Because the thing is, like,
masturbate in the other room.
Yes, Paige has that room, her like closet room.
Yeah, go by. Don't.
I would be so angry. I think this is on the same level as like if one of my friends had sex in my bed. I'd be pissed if one of my friends had sex in my bed, and I'd be pissed if one of my friends had phone sex while I was napping next to them.
Just a little privacy, please. And I don't care if you're like, I don't care. But okay, but I don't want to hear it. I don't want to experience it. I don't want to listen to it.
You can do it. You can do it in our room. Just don't let me be there.
I'm surprised that Paige is more upset that her and Perry don't spend hours on the phone. I'm like, girl, you got a whole nother issue happening.
Yeah, that was start. Yeah. Also, like she could be doing this, like, and she was just pissed about that. Like they talk on the phone all the time. It's not even the phone sex. She's just like me and Perry basically never talk, but she could.
Yeah. Also,
we don't talk about Perry enough.
I forget Perry exists. Perry exists. Mostly because I already know they're broken up. So like the fact that he's not even brought up, I'm like, does he exist?
I wonder if there's no drama about their breakup on the season that it's not worth it to even talk about it.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, he's probably the most boring boyfriend, and she's just chilling. Dude, they're fucking the worst. But then Lindsay knocks on the door. And she comes in, and you can tell Hannah's lady boner goes down, and so does Des's, I'm sure. Their boners.
And Paige wakes up. She's like,
hello. Okay. And Lindsay just tells them the pup crawl's at 6, so they might want to prepare their rooms. And Hannah and Paige are like, we bought 3 things, so we're good. Thank you so much. And then Lindsay leaves. And then Hannah's like, hey, Des, we got in a huge fucking fight with her last night. So I don't know why that didn't come up, but
they like fill him in. And Paige is like, if that were me, like I would have come in and been like, okay, this is not true. Like she didn't even address the rumor or anything that was talked about. I love how like you kind of have to pick and choose your battles when you're living in a summer house with people. If it's like
you do,
I'm not going to get into this. We're just going to all pretend like none of this happened.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, a lot.
Like it'll obviously come up later, but like everybody needs to get ready and decorate their room. So like this isn't the time to like dredge it all back up. Like
also,
let's get
Des
through the morning.
Was on the phone. Like, we'll come back. Okay, so we're gonna get ready for the pub crawl. Literally such a mess. But Sierra asked Carl to hang something because she needs a tall man. And
Luke walks right past her.
Pissed. He's pissed. Also,
did you notice that Sierra mentioned she actually has to clean her room, and the reason her room is messy is because she doesn't have hangers.
She doesn't have hangers. Girl,
we ordered all this shit off Amazon and you can't order hangers?
Girl, we're not on the real world. You have a computer. You can Amazon that shit straight here. Ugh, but it's fine. So Luke's pissed. Maybe he can give Sierra a few hangers if he really wants to be her friend. I would.
Not past 10 p.m. though. Not past 10 p.m.
9 a.m. Here's some hangers, bitch. At first I didn't know what the theme was, and I was like, why is Kyle tanning himself? Right? He just like he looks insane.
I saw Instagram things from the cast prior, so I kind of had a slight understanding.
I saw pictures, but I was like, they all look different, so I didn't know what the theme was.
I didn't know if they were choosing where they were from or if they all just were choosing different states or cities. I knew it was like a pub crawl, like around the world type of thing.
There it is. Pub crawl around the world, United States. So Sierra's doing Atlanta because she's from there. Paige and Hannah are doing New York because they live there. Lindsay's doing Florida because she's from there. Danielle's doing the Hamptons because she goes there. Carl's doing Pennsylvania, but an Amish
with Amish
twist.
Vibes.
Because he's from Pennsylvania, but he's not Amish. But I think Lancaster's known for their Amish population.
But I think this also fits so well because like the water, they do like
the water is so funny. Kyle and Amanda are California because they like being tan, and Luke is from Minnesota, and he reminds us every day.
It
was awesome. So we go to Florida first. It's so bright. Lindsay is now Dolores. You know, she has sex. She's retired. Her husband died. It's all fun and great.
She has a little golf thing. She's ready to get fucked up. Let's have some Goomba mash. Goomba-based mash.
Goomba smashes.
Goomba smashes.
That?
I couldn't understand what she was saying.
Because she's like doing an old person accent, but like it's Floridian. I don't know. It's super weird. So we go to Georgia. Sierra offers everyone rum and Cokes with ice cream because Coke is from Atlanta. And this is where Luke is like, oh my God, this is so fun. Is this what you do? And Sierra's like, I just wanted ice cream. And like she shuts it down.
She is like giving him 2 words, which if I was Luke, I would be pissed at like the level this has gotten to.
Yeah.
He should expect that they're not going to be besties, but like she shouldn't be giving 2 words.
Yeah, she's openly rude in front of everyone to
everybody
him.
Notices.
And they haven't had like even a conversation yet. Like she can't be openly rude until I don't know. To me, this is what's ruining the vibe. Like it's ruined the vibe.
Being short with him.
But then when you make it everyone's business all the time, then everyone's vibe is ruined. Then we go to the Hamptons. So fancy. Danielle did a great job. It's so cute. And then we go to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, home of the Amish.
Well.
There's hay everywhere. He has shots of water for everyone.
He has bucket service, he says, and it's just a bucket of water.
Oh my God. This is the funniest. It was so you could take a picture to like a photo booth. It was
the photo booth was in Minnesota.
Oh, you're right.
Because we had but yeah, everybody just like shots of water from a pitcher.
Shots of water. That's what we did. And then we went to Minnesota. Yes. Yeah. And that's where you took a picture in front of Mr. Moose.
Yep, and this is where we have flannels and overalls for everybody trying on. I thought that was fun. Yeah.
That was a nice touch. I at first really thought Hannah and Sierra were not going to have fun just because they were trying to spite Luke, which I was like, don't do this.
Too. Yeah.
But then they did open up, and then Carl's flirting with Sierra, and I was like,
see, I'm worried about the Sierra Carl thing because I think Sierra's doing it a little bit to just also
to get back
F you Carl or F you Luke.
Yeah, it was bad.
Which like Carl's heart cannot take this.
Yeah, like I don't think Carl and Sierra would be anything serious. That to me is just a hookup.
Okay.
Like I don't think they would date, but I don't think that would go over well. I should say the vibe Sierra gives me is that she would just hook up. I don't know if Carl would like fall in love.
Yeah.
But then I think that would cause a rift between Carl and Luke.
Yeah.
Too, which like is not necessary. Like it's just not necessary. But whatever. We take an intermission in the kitchen. The vibe for tonight is just forgetting what happened last night. That's the whole vibe.
Listen, I feel like that's
fine.
A vibe a lot of people have to do, and I have done this many a times.
But Luke and Sierra do talk. So Luke wants to know what her issue is, and Sierra says she just doesn't feel like there's boundaries. Like she's not trying to give him the wrong idea. She doesn't want a relationship, and he is really flirting with that line a little bit of like friendship relationship. And so Luke wants to be cool and be friends, and Sierra's like, that's fine, but don't text me past 10 p.m. So then this is where Luke is like, 10 p.m. I text everyone past 10 p.m. What are you talking about? Me text you past 10 p.m.? That's insane.
Yeah, and he just clearly doesn't understand this. And then he's like, I'm not flirting with you. Listen, you know what? I just won't talk to you. Which I'm like, oh my God,
and
here we go.
And like, fine, we're not friends. And I was like, this conversation made things worse.
It's when people just, I've done this, so I like can't really blame them. But it's when you're like, well, then I just won't text you. Well, then we're not friends. Like,
listen, I think Sierra's request to like not text me past a certain time is like fine, but it's like oddly, weirdly too specific. But then I think Luke missed the point. And maybe it's because we're all drinking, right? But I think Sierra set the point up wrong, but then Luke completely missed it even further than if she set it up.
Yeah,
like,
I think
it was bad.
Even if she delivered it in the right way, I don't think he understands. Like, she's trying to set a boundary, not that she's like, I hate you. It's like, listen, I don't want to blur the lines. So I think we shouldn't text late at night, like at 10 p.m. at night.
Yes. As someone who would just be a bystander in this house, the vibe is again ruined by this conversation. I'm pissed. As like an Amanda, well, she isn't really like Luke. I don't know.
As Danielle,
I'm pissed.
The true middle ground.
I'm pissed that my vibe is now probably ruined because of all you. And now I have to pick a side. I don't want to pick a side. I just want to chill.
Yeah, especially because like we still already have the Luke and Lindsay drama like being swept underneath the rug. So we have this big mound underneath the rug. And now it's like we have to deal with Sierra and Luke. Because the girls are going to immediately notice like she's pissed. She's like seething when she comes out of like that room.
Yeah. So we go to California, and Amanda and Kyle do the California.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that's what they named it. California.
Yeah, they're like, hey, welcome to California. Like they're doing that whole voice. Like, we just like being tan. And Sierra does come in absolutely seething, and she tells Paige and Hannah about the conversation, how dumb it was. And that's all we get really from California. And I'm pissed because that looked like a lit ass time.
I know, but they had margaritas in those sustainable glassware.
Sustainable glassware. And then we go to New York Club in Paige and Hannah's room. And Carl, the Amish man, kills me. He's like, as an Amish person, it's a little hard to get the chicks. And I was like, no.
I love the dedication he has. I love the dedication Summer House has to like costumes and themes.
I was like,
watching Carl shave. Watching Carl shave his like beard, he was like smiling as he's like going in for it. Like, I can't wait for this.
I can't wait to be Amish. Like Lindsay kept up Dolores the whole night, which was great. Kyle and Amanda were fucking weirdos. Like I love it. And this is where like I appreciate Paige and Hannah and like Danielle and Luke, but their theme and Sierra, but their themes just didn't have a character. Like I love a character.
Well, Paige did a little bit. Once she was in her room, she was like, I have the VIP over here for you. Like we have bottle service. It's like 10 grand.
It was fine.
Like, she was playing it when she was in her room.
But so they do this thing, right? Kyle and Carl are sitting there, and then Amanda and Sierra join them. And Kyle and Amanda do this whole skit that made me close to crying, where Kyle's like, hey, where are you from? And she goes, I'm from California. And he goes, I'm from California. And she's like, oh.
Yeah, they're like, let's swap. And I'm like, wow, this is even perfect. Like, this wingman. So
good to get Carl and Sierra next to each other. And then they're like, Carl, can you date being Amish? And he goes, I would risk my Amish faith for the right person. Just crying. And then everyone notices that Lindsay and Luke left together. They like excuse themselves to go outside and talk. And this
they
is
didn't
where
excuse themselves because they didn't say anything.
Left. That's right. They just left. But this is where Amanda's like, they just left thinking that we wouldn't even notice. And Kyle looks and goes, who left? Like,
I know. She's like, they left together as if we wouldn't have seen anything. And I'm like, okay, that isn't that big of a deal.
It wasn't that big a deal. And the fact that Kyle really, because she's venting to Kyle about it, and Kyle goes, who left? And she's like, are you kidding? And he's like, no, what happened?
Because I think Paige and Hannah like aren't sitting with them. So then like
no, Paige is doing her bottle service and Hannah's DJing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Sierra, I think Amanda said it to Sierra and was fine, but said it to the group. So then Kyle comes in and is like, I am confused. I love drunk Kyle.
The only reason this is sketchy is because now it's in their mind that they're going to sleep together. So they probably think like they're going to a bedroom, but it's like, okay, we're going to go talk on the patio where it's
about
quiet.
The drama that is surrounding us that we dealt with last night.
So like as a viewer, this isn't sketchy, but like if I was in the moment, I'd be like, oh, yeah, we have to find them.
We must follow. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, they go outside to talk. Lindsay is drunk as can be. And she makes a joke like, everyone thinks we fuck, so we should just fuck already. Haha. And Luke is like, what? I was like, oh no.
Yeah. And she's like, I mean, like we openly flirt with each other all the time. Like I undress you with my eyes.
To me, Lindsay is like blaming Luke a little bit because she's like, you flirt with me a lot. Like we have this. You can't deny it. And Luke's confused. And then Lindsay goes, like, I undressed you with my eyes, to which I was like, yeah, which
if she would have said like, listen, I don't think you're great with boundaries. Like, of course you flirt with me. Like it come off different, but yeah, you're right. She's like, you do all this. Like you flirt with everyone.
And then she goes, I think Hannah's just jealous. And I was like, oh goodness gracious. Who's the bad guy? Is it Luke or Lindsay? I'm confused. But back in the normal room, Danielle tells the group that
over in NYC.
Over in NYC bedroom. Luke and Lindsay have not hooked up. And Sierra is basically like, I don't give a fuck. I just want some boundaries.
Yeah, I want him to stop. He doesn't need to text me to tell me he didn't sleep with her at 10 p.m. at night. And
Carl is just sick of Luke. He wants Luke to take responsibility and move on. And all Kyle wants to do is eat. So we're all
and it's like Kyle's like, this is frustrating. He has such an opinion on Des and Hannah. Like
that's bull. Yeah,
he's just all up in everything and like won't own anything. Carl's pissed because we're halfway through the summer now and Luke hasn't owned anything he's done with either Hannah or Sierra, which again, as you've mentioned, like this is ruining the vibe.
So Kyle and Carl go to the kitchen where Carl continues his rant about Luke. But then, of course, Luke walks into the house.
In this open concept.
This house is open concept. You can't bitch in the kitchen, you guys. No. You can't bitch in the kitchen. So then,
but Carl does it well, in my opinion.
Luke hears. So he walks upstairs and he's like, you talking about my back? And Carl's like, yeah, I'll talk right to your front too. So then they kind of go at him. Carl basically tells him everything. Like, you just need to take responsibility. You're some bullshit. Kyle's too drunk. So again, he's catching all the flies. He's so confused.
Mouth open, like looking back and forth between them.
Whoever had that camera or like controlled that camera literally just left it on Kyle and the face did not change because we got like 7 different shots of Kyle.
I wonder if it's just there's just a Kyle cam sometimes.
It's not even a real like video. They just put a picture of him up because it's just constant. But then Carl calls Luke a jackass, and this is where Luke gets kind of mad.
He's like, watch your tone with me.
Yeah, Luke has held it together until that
I don't like that because I think Luke has a tone a lot. So, like, you can't really be like, watch your tone with me. You're not.
I personally, I think Carl losing it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I don't think this needed to happen.
For Luke, it came out of nowhere. Again, the whole thing's ruining the vibe. Let's just not talk about it, but whatever. But then Luke does have an attitude. So then I think this whole, like, honestly, Carl's like not really making sense because he's like, you don't own anything. You're hiding something. Like,
I think it's because he's drunk now. He had a few drinks and it just didn't go well. It just
is all very vague that I think Luke is like, what are we talking? Are we talking about Sierra? Are we talking about Hannah? Are we talking about Lindsay? Like, what are we talking about?
And this is where Sierra walks up and is like, I'll share my piece, right? Like
that Luke laughed at her boundaries, which
he did. And Sierra's like, I don't care what's happening, but like I have my boundaries and that needs to be that. So then she starts kind of like raising her voice, which I get because Luke's not listening at all, and I would raise my voice too. And then Kyle then comes through and is like, hey man, maybe don't text past 9 p.m. Like maybe that's like a cutoff.
You don't really text a girl after 9 unless you want to fuck her. And Luke's like,
yeah.
What are you talking about?
No one listens. Luke then yells at Sierra about how she's yelling at him and how she can yell at him, but he can't yell at her. And I was like,
that's ridiculous.
This whole thing is ridiculous. Everyone shut up. So then this is where Kyle says that he's seen Luke lead girls on, and Kyle starts getting mad because he thinks Luke needs to feel powerful, which I didn't get this vibe, but maybe like to me, this is like not out of left field, but it was also not in my vision, like
I think like Luke wants to have a girl always.
He always likes to have a girl. Yes.
And I think he wants to be the one in control. So like he has more leverage in the relationship. So now, if you look at like how he came into the summer, he kind of had leverage over Hannah and Sierra. So like he was in the upper hand in both of those relationships. And now in a way, like they both don't want anything to do with him. So in theory, like they have the upper hand, and I don't think he likes that. So I think he shit talks Hannah because in some way she now like, he doesn't have any power in that relationship.
Okay.
I understood this. I think it's a little true, but I don't even think Luke realizes it. So you can't tell him this because he doesn't even understand what boundaries are. Like he doesn't understand these things because he's not someone who talks about his emotions and things like this.
This is not the convo to have drunk. It never is.
No. Like Carl's, it makes sense because it just started happening and he was shit talking Luke behind his back. So then you got to start doing it to his front too. But like,
and Carl has excused himself by now. Carl's gone. He's long gone. Kyle's now hammered. And listen, I know that's what makes the show interesting. Like, we're going to have conversations that we should not have drunk. We're going to have them drunk. At the same time, I remember that these people are my age or older, and I would be like, let's not have this combo, but we're having this combo, which is just insane.
When I'm drunk, I want to have these combos. So this is probably what I do.
I'm like, I'm going to go to bed. But also, as Danielle right now, I'm pissed. I'm just trying to FaceTime my hot chef. Everyone's fighting about literally nothing, whatever. So then
Luke walks away.
Yeah, Kyle says he loves Luke, but, his quest for power over females. And Kyle just keeps yelling at Luke as Luke walks away. And
Kyle starts walking after him.
He needs Luke to admit that he loves to control females, which Luke is not going to admit. So why? And Amanda's trying to hold Kyle back by his
I love it. She's just being dragged along by his
and she's laughing. She thinks this is hilarious. No one else. I don't think anyone knew how mad these dudes were actually getting.
Well, I don't think anybody thought Luke was this pissed. First off, because I think Luke, the way it comes off to me is that Luke is excusing himself, kind of like you said you probably would do. We're not having this conversation right now. I just
don't want to deal with it.
I'm gonna exit this, so I'm gonna walk away. And Amanda's like, "All right, Kyle, stop." You
need to stop too. Yeah, he's the one excusing himself, so we also need to just
we're fine. Yeah.
But then so Luke goes outside and he really is pissed, which I do get this because when I walk away, I have time to think about what just happened and be like, no, wait, you're being the worst or whatever is happening, especially drunk. I will come back and be like, wait a minute.
You think you're so good by walking away.
I thought I got it, but I didn't. No, but he is pissed. He is beyond pissed. I think
he's basically yelling to the producers.
Yeah,
that
you better
look in the fucking mirror. I want to tell Kyle what I think of him.
Do you think Luke called security and was like, better come in, about to beat some ass?
No. I bet he walked outside. I bet there's a whole crew outside and a lot of people we don't even see. Because every once in a while you'll see camera people around whenever things are really happening.
Yeah.
There's I bet so many producers at this.
I'm sure.
Place and sound engineers and stuff. I bet there's so much stuff happening outside. So I bet he went outside.
Well, we saw that one random guy.
Well, I bet he was.
Don't go.
That's probably a producer, the showrunner. I bet he went outside. He saw them, and he was yelling at them. I bet we didn't get all the audio. I bet they cut in at a certain point, and then Luke comes in, kicks the door in.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, everyone, get this on camera!" Kicks the door in. Kyle spills cereal in the event of getting ready to fight because now he hears them. So Luke's yelling Kyle, you suck with women, which is also true. All these men suck with women.
I know. I would say Kyle sucks with Amanda because I haven't seen him with other women though.
Well, we saw him with he doesn't speak well to women.
That is true.
Which was a whole last episode. Listen up.
True.
All these men super suck because we've seen them date women and they all suck at it. So
yeah, I mean, we all suck in certain ways. You just gotta
bring back Steven, who didn't have this problem with women. Okay, true. Great. So Luke's back inside, yelling, screaming. There's a security guard now.
There are a lot of producers around.
And this is the best part, right? Kyle's looking down and Luke's like looking up at him and goes, you know what, Kyle? I don't like you. To which that's what get Kyle to snap because now he's
like, that's what we're going to say. That is, I don't, because he says it slow. I don't like you.
And then that's what Kyle, he obviously sees like, red then. Like that's the one. If someone said they didn't like me, I'd be like, okay.
I would laugh.
I'd be like, I don't like you either. Like, just
okay. But great. The best is like Luke then somehow was outside again, or whenever he was walking up, I think he threw his beer down and kicked in the door. And I was like, okay, when did we get to this level? I totally get yelling level, but when did we get to throwing a beer down and kicking in a door?
I don't know. Because then, of course, Kyle then, Luke said he didn't like him, so now Kyle's stomping down to go fight. And this is when everyone pops out.
It's just like a
Carl pops out of bed. Danielle has to now be like, the fuck is happening? So
everybody is just like
Amanda's yelling at Kyle to stop. She's like, cut it out.
I think Lindsay is trying to push Kyle away
Lindsay's trying. Hannah's somewhere in there.
Hannah and Paige are up at the kitchen watching from the top, watching everything.
That's where I'd be.
They're not
like,
in it.
The fuck? And then this is when Carl shows up and he starts yelling at Luke. So there's a big kind of, it's not a brawl. No one actually hits each other. They just are like,
they're just like a lot of, I think, like trying to go get at each other, but trying to hold them back.
But also, yeah, they weren't trying hard enough because you're going to tell me Amanda holds Kyle back, please. Like, I don't think they wanted to hurt each other. I think they just wanted to yell at each other and
get in your face. To chest, you know?
Chest to chest, but no one's going to throw that first punch. I love when dudes do that. Let's just chest to chest it, bro. Whatever. But they do that. And then we get a to be continued. And like, that's the end.
Well, we do know that Carl gets involved.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard.
Carl popped out of bed.
I know. I have heard, like, I think they all like were not really apologizing, but a lot of them posted on Instagram about how much they loved their crew like this week because this was obviously airing, and I think the fact that the crew had to get involved into a fight, like they're kind of embarrassed about.
Yeah, and Summer House, listen, like we talk about Vanderpump a lot. I could talk about a lot of other Bravo shows too, where they don't mind throwing some punches. Like they'll go at each other and try and get in there. To me, Summer House, we're adult enough because, like, even at 26, if two of my friends, for the dumbest fucking drunk reason, were like, we're gonna fight, I'd be like, just go chest to chest and take like a walk. So I think that was this. Like, they're adult enough to realize they
fight
probably
with their
shouldn't
words.
fight. Yeah, they probably shouldn't. Like,
they all like to yell at each other, which I appreciate.
Yeah, they're intelligent enough to just yell and like walk away because no one's gonna want to deal with the medical bills of getting punched in the face and like.
Well, I bet you're kicked off the show. You know.
Yeah, you're kicked off the show, so you lose the income, and it's just it's very different. I enjoyed this though. I would like to say on Instagram, Carl and Luke still hang out, so they're friends.
And so, I think I told you that Hannah speaks to everyone in the show except for Luke. She said that in an interview. So
yeah,
I think after this season, I'd be really shocked if Luke came back. I think he's going to be over because he hates this drama.
On Instagram, maybe he won't want to come back just for his own sake.
I think it's himself pulling him out.
I know Luke, Lindsay, and Carl and Danielle are all really good friends still. Like they still hang out and post with each other. So I think that would be Luke removing himself. But I think
I don't think he wants to be on camera. After watching his interviews this season, he hates this.
Yeah. Like I enjoy Paige and Hannah, but if I had to pick the center of the show, it's gonna be like who has the most seniority. It is Lindsay, Kyle, and Carl because they were there from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I think if they invited Luke back, like I think they wouldn't have a problem. Be like, Luke, you can come. But Luke,
no, I don't think the show would kick him off. I think Luke is like, I'm tired of this.
But Hannah would be like, I don't want Luke there. But I think Carl and Lindsay would be like, well, too bad. We're inviting him and he doesn't want to come. That's his decision. But I think
I think Bravo Carl, would pick Hannah. I think Bravo would pick Hannah and Paige over Luke.
I've heard Hannah on Reddit. This is through Reddit, but I've heard Hannah was not asked to go to Winter House specifically because Bravo doesn't really want her around anymore.
Do you think Paige would still do it if Luke was on it?
Yeah. I think Bravo, from what I've read on Reddit, really likes Paige, but does not really like Hannah.
Yeah. I think they probably like their dynamic together, but Hannah doesn't really bring enough on her own.
No. And I think Hannah, from what I've read,
the little tidbits of them being in bed together are fun. Like, I think that's like a fun little dynamic that like two friends are sharing a room.
I've read Hannah's difficult to work with on Reddit. Do I know if that's true? No. Ooh. I've read that also she kind of makes drama out of nothing, which is good, but it's not good drama. Like, it's not.
Makes me want to ask my source on the side. The like,
do it.
My cousin knows
remember
people.
The Luke Hannah shit? Like, that wasn't fun drama. And Bravo, I guess, noticed that like it came out of nowhere, and then we had to like deal with it, and no one wanted to.
And it makes the story overall more confusing because of then this death piece and like it just
so. Bravo,
you kind of always want someone like new and fun, like hooking up, and the fact that they can't go out and meet new people. Yeah, it like makes this a lot harder because I think they probably thought Sierra and Luke would be like the new couple this season.
Yeah. But yeah, so Hannah was not invited to do Winter House. Bravo, I don't think is going to invite Hannah to do a lot, but they really like Paige from what I've read, which is why Paige is on Winter House. And Sierra and Amanda and just not Hannah. Haha. Whatever.
Right, accepted and blocked?
Oh, I just said block everyone again. No, this was actually a fun episode. Can I not accept Danielle because she wasn't in it?
She only had her Hamptons moment with all the rosé.
Okay. I don't know anything yet. Do you have one?
I think I'm gonna accept Amanda. I love I think she's in a great spot with like Hannah and Paige and her like friendship. She obviously has had some drama there, but like love a good gossip session in a bed in like their bedroom before like the girls' night kicks off. Her little we know you're Lindsay Hubbard, now sit down. Really was a 10 out of 10 moment for me.
Loved it.
She even stuck up for herself whenever she went upstairs and Lindsay was like talking shit to the boys. She's like, that's not what happened. If you'll like listen and talk to me, like she didn't cause drama, but she wasn't like
attack my man.
She wasn't putting up with the shit. Funny. And watching her just pull Kyle trying to like keep him from running with the like shorts moment was so expert. Funny. And a great California impression.
Yeah, I'm going to accept Kyle. I don't think he was the best, but he was the only one that made me laugh.
He brings you the memes.
His face the whole time cracked me up. He was so funny. He was so drunk this episode. My fun Kyle drunk. I love. Even when he's fighting with Luke, the fact that I don't like you set him off.
I don't like you.
Like the fact that Kyle now is like, I am offended. Like it just fucking cracks me up. Kyle's the funniest person on the show. He is Summer House. I know Carl's in charge of the show, but you put Kyle on a
Carl's in charge of them living. Making it out alive, and Kyle's in charge of like making it what it is.
Kyle is the face of the show. He has never not been. He's
a whole vibe.
Our podcast is named after one of his quotes. Like he is just so good.
Summer should be fun.
Amanda, not fun. He just murders me. Like he's great. 10 out of 10. I love.
Maybe that's what we need to change it to: is who is fun and who's not fun. Amanda, not fun.
We're changing it. Great. So who was fun? We're changing it.
Amanda, fun.
Yeah. Okay, so
Luke,
Amanda.
For me, Luke, not fun.
Luke, not fun? Oh
Luke,
my God,
fun.
That's so funny. Okay, yeah, we're changing it. So we're doing fun, not fun.
I think Luke, not fun. He
Luke is not fun.
Listen, I am personally in the middle of this kind of where you like friends are in like an awkward place and it's like hard to make sure you're like having correct boundaries and like you're in a good place and this is awkward, but I don't like that Luke puts 100% responsibility, I feel like, on these ladies. And then when I think the guys were trying to get into like kind of see like a little bit differently whenever it was Carl, Kyle, Luke, and Sierra in the kitchen, I think they were trying to get him to understand a little bit of like what they're like what they're seeing and feeling and hearing. And I don't know. I just think Luke takes this all so personally. And in a way it is. But I don't think he really brings anything to this group.
You're ruining the vibe.
He's not fun. He's not legitimately fun. Mean. Fun. He does not seem that
Luke,
fun.
Not fun.
Not fun.
So I'm going to go. I mean, though I want to do Luke, I'm going to hit a second place that I'm just going to throw in. I think Lindsay, not fun.
Dude, listen, she just yells so. She blows up.
If you ever say, "Do you know who I am?" You are no one to me. That defines that you're no one. The most A-list celebrities don't go around going, "Do you know who I am?" Because obviously. So if you ask, no.
If you have to ask, then you're not someone important.
She can't ever just not be activated. She just always has to be like on her highest level all the time. And then and I get it, Luke does flirt, but then she's like, you flirt with me a lot. Do I undress you with my eyes? Yeah.
I think she's starting to realize this rumor, because she said when she was like yelling at the girls, if I slept with Luke, that means you're calling me a cheater. I think she's then now thinking through like what this means if this rumor keeps taking off. So it's like, if I can put the blame on Luke and it's like, he's the one flirting with me, I'm not doing anything. I'm sorry you guys think this, but it's on him. But
I do think she does it. So she's whatever.
It's annoying. Ugh. She did not listen. Even when the girls were doing the spa moment, she was not listening to what they were saying. Cause she was like, you guys are just attacking Luke. And they're like, we're not, we don't like him.
We're not trying to attack him. She just can't ever not be activated. She then is trying to blame Luke, which I get, but also like, she then openly is like, I'm the one that undresses you with my eyes. And I was like, girlfriend, you are playing this wrong as can be. So, yikes. But listen, Lindsay liking my photos is fun.
Lindsay outside of
Lindsay on Instagram, television. Fun.
Lindsay on TV, not fun.
Oh my God, why didn't we think of that
Dude, sooner? Lindsay really could have played this way better if she would have gone to the girls and been like, this did not happen. Luke just flirts with me. Like, I know he's like not great at boundaries. She so could have like,
but then she
bonded a little bit with the girls.
Yeah, but
threw him under the bus.
To her, Luke is her friend.
Yeah.
Ooh, Luke, not fun. Lindsay, not fun. Oh my God, that was so fun. Okay, we don't get a next week on because we just get the to be continued. So I don't know what's going to happen next week.
Well, the fight's going to continue, obviously, but I wonder when we're going to get Dez.
He's coming.
Because Carl said we're halfway through the summer. So this is, I told you, I think we're going to have 16 episodes.
Oh man. I really do like Summer House. It's fun. I can't wait for Winter House. This is such a good idea.
Dude, I want Des to come because I kind of want like a new couple. Like it's like the excitement of like flirting and
they're going to have a lot of sex.
The dynamics.
We're going to see them have a lot of sex. I wish we got the song though. We got stars.
Oh my God. I do miss seeing their like having them go to dinner places.
Yeah. I do. Yeah. I miss like the city, but I get it. I like the song. I'm sad about the song, but it's fine. We'll just stay in this damn house forever. I want them to do a quarantine safe activity, which I know they can't.
I know.
But
like go on a boat.
Them to rent their
like
boat.
A boat or
I think
something.
it'd be really hard with the cameras.
Or even if they did like a catered dinner with like waiters at their house, like something that's not just
all
them
had to speak in British accents or something. That'd be
like
funny.
Remember the murder mystery party we got last year?
Oh, that was fun. Stephen was there. I can't wait to go back and do all. It's gonna be so good.
There are little things they could do at the house that could make it different. Like they need to bring someone in. If they can bring people in to repair the stove, we can bring some people in to do a murder mystery party.
You know what they should do? They should bring in like certain friends, but they all have their own like balcony. So that's how they do a party with different people. Oh my God. I don't know. What's a good way to bring in friends? I loved their parties.
You could quarantine them for 2 weeks.
I would. If I was friends with one of them and they were like, hey, Alicia, we need you to quarantine. You could be on the show. I'd be like, hi.
How cool if they like did a final party where they had a bunch of people quarantine so they could do a real party.
Oh my God, they're not. Bravo would get roasted for
100%. The optics.
Yeah, it'd be bad. But ideally, I would be good TV.
I agree.
Judge it, but all right. Well, that's the end. Fun, not fun is the new thing that I enjoy. It took us 8 episodes to figure it out, but we did it. Amanda, not fun.
Alicia and Meredith, fun.
Fun. All right, we will talk to you later. We love you more than Hannah loves, or no, wait, I fucked that up. We love you more than Paige loves Hannah and Des having sex in her bed.